Adaptive Insights Training Video. Welcome to another Adaptive Care Provider Software Training Insights video. I'm Huey Tinman, and I'm going to walk you through the Nighthawk Awake Asleep Employee Tracking Monitor. In this session, we'll introduce you to our newest technology, the Nighthawk Asleep Awake Tracking Monitor. The Nighthawk system is designed to help supervisors and administrators verify employee activity during scheduled shifts. Administrators can configure required check-in intervals, prompting staff members to sign into the adaptive application at designated times throughout their shift. Using the Nighthawk monitoring system, supervisors can generate reports at any time to review employee compliance and activity. Reports identify whether employees check in on time, check in late, or miss a required check-in altogether. This information provides valuable insights into staff attendance, responsiveness, and overnight monitoring activities. Before we demonstrate how the Nighthawk system functions from the employee perspective, let's begin by reviewing the administrative setup process. First, we look at how to configure user role permissions that control access to Nighthawk scheduling, monitoring, reporting, and administrative functioning. Let's get started. The first thing that we need to do is either check or verify that you have the correct permissions to manage the Nighthawk administration. So to do that from our task directory to administrative control panel, let's first scoosh on over here to Employee Master. And then we want to check on Add Edit User Roles. And this has to be done with some level of administrative privileges. I'm going to choose the user role that we are demonstrating with and edit that user role. Now we're going to go all the way to the bottom of this very long list of features, and you will see here the Nighthawk schedules and Nighthawk report. You want to make sure that those are all checked. If they're not, select them and then click on Update. And that's all that there is to do for there. So the next thing that we do is go back into Task Directory and Administrative Control Panel, and now you will see the Nighthawk administration icon if you did not see it just a second or two ago before we enrolled the permissions to your user role. We click on that, and that brings us into the administration console. The first drop-down that we offer is the schedule setup. This is where we're going to create schedules of when and how many employees would check in and check out on a routine basis to verify that they are awake. The next section is our report section, and this is where we're going to verify and double-check all of the reports. So coming back up here, let's come up with a friendly schedule name. I have created a schedule name of Overnight St. Regis Drive, and I'm going to come in here and find the location, St. Regis Drive, and select that. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to select an employee from the list from our employee database. We'll take Peter Nelson, the boss. The system is recommending a start time of 10 o'clock p.m. because this is an overnight service, however, you're not constrained to that. In order to create an example and not have to stay up all night to build this demonstration, I'm going to set the time fairly close to what it is now of 2 o'clock p.m. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to set the next time is going to be set to 4 o'clock p.m. Now this will throw the charting response and request between these hours, and the frequency we're going to set for this, I'm going to set for 30 minutes. I'm going to set a start date of today, and an end date is not necessary. It will run on for infinity. However, because I don't want this schedule to be here after tomorrow when the demonstration is done, I'm going to set an end date for it, and then it will go away. The thing that you have to be mindful of next is the grace before minutes and the grace after minutes. And I'm going to set these both at the default that are set for 10 minutes. I'm going to eliminate this from happening on Saturday and Sunday, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on Save Schedule. So the schedule now has been dropped down into this grid here, and it can be edited as simple as clicking on the edit icon, go back and make whatever changes. If you want to add another employee to that, let's get Mary out of retirement. We would add a second employee or third or fourth, however many are on that shift that you want to check in. Their check-ins are independent of other users or employees. They are static to themselves. So let's go ahead and update the schedule. Now the next thing, let's click on Home and we'll get rid of our pesky little reminders flags here. And you can see right now that it's 2:30. The time is actually 2:25. I am within the allowed window to chart. So I'm going to click on Check-in. And I'm just going to leave a note behind as to what I was doing or what information you want to require the employee to enter in there. And we'll select Check-in. It's going to refresh the page, and it's back to business as normal. Checked in early at 2:25 p.m. Next is going to be 3 o'clock p.m. So you can see that this is running its schedule up here in the corner out of the way. And let's see what happens when the schedule has been missed. Let's go back to Task Directory, Administrative Control Panel, and we'll go into Nighthawk Administration. And let's take a look at Report. And now you can see because we had this selected to run off every 30 minutes. You can see that it generated all of these missed charting schedules, and it did record the one that I just did in the demonstration, and there is our note. The next thing that we can do is, of course, filter by location for this search, filter by employee for this search, and we can filter the status of all, early, on time, or late, and of course all. In addition to that, you can export your report. You will begin to see the quick glance grid down below whenever you set your parameters, but you can also export these parameters into an Excel spreadsheet. The report that you generate is very comprehensive if you allow all features to be reported on, and/or it can be as basic and simple as reporting on a single employee in any kind of a timeline. So before you would ever delete or remove any scheduled check-in, check out for the Nighthawk program. It's highly recommended that you run the report and export it as an Excel and save that Excel file locally.